Disaster has struck and the MSI Claw isn't even out yet. What's up everybody and welcome back to Joystick Ayrton. So this should be a fairly quick video. The MSI Claw is a disaster and it hasn't even launched yet. Somehow MSI has found a way to turn pre-ordering into an utter nightmare. At least here in the States. In other countries where you only have one option, it seems to be not as big of a deal, but we'll talk a little bit more about that. But it's not the performance that is jaw-droppingly terrible. We've seen some benchmarks come out that are just like, God, how is this thing $800 or $700 if you have the i5 version? It's MSI shooting themselves in the foot over and over and over again. So let's talk about it. Okay, so as all of you know, the Lenovo Legion Go is by far the most superior handheld on the market. If you don't agree, you're wrong. We'll talk more about that later, but there's reasons you might want or not want this, or want a Steam Deck or not want that, but there's about 5,000 reasons at the moment why you probably don't want a Claw. And I'm really wanting to make a controversial video about that, and I would love to be able to come out and be like, yeah, you should buy a Claw over a Steam Deck or a Legion Go, because I did that with the Legion Go and the video did really well, and I had some criticisms and I had some just really enjoying the product moments, and the video did really well. But the MSI is making it harder and harder and harder to see justifying this thing in any way, shape, or form. So Meteor Lake looks like a disaster, at least on paper. I'm hoping that changes somehow, some way. Optimizations, who knows? But not only is it coming down to that performance, their terrible marketing, but pre-orders, at least in the States, just everything is abysmal. So in the States, we usually have a couple of different options when it comes to buying a product. That could be Newegg, Best Buy, Micro Center, B&H sometimes, but those are typically the big three. The Lenovo Legion Go, I believe you could get at all three of them, if I'm not wrong. Correct me in the comment section down below. I'm not sure about Newegg. The Ally had so many returns at Best Buy, so many open box units. The Lenovo Legion Go is actually not even in the store. Now, there can be contractual reasons to that, or we can look at the bigger scheme of how many Allies were returned and why Best Buy may not want that to be an on-the-shelf item. There's contracts too, so I don't know the ins and outs of those contracts, so this is all speculation. So I just want you to keep that in mind. But MSI has dropped the amazing i5 model for $700 on Newegg for pre-order. That shows a release date of the 12th. But you can't pre-order that or the i7 model at Best Buy until the 15th. But then you see release dates for pre-orders that you can't pre-order on MSI's USA website until the 28th. So what's the real date here? Who has it right? Is MSI wrong? Are the retailers wrong? Why am I restricted to just the i5 model and just Newegg? It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Now I can see retailers, Best Buy, Micro Center, MSI, Lenovo, Asus, having these contracts that may script certain things at certain times. Maybe Newegg paid a whole bunch of money to be restricted for the first week or so of pre-orders. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, considering the fact that MSI is making the majority of their money off of the fact that Intel is giving them the Meteor Lake chipsets for insanely cheap. It's the only way this makes any sense to sell when the performance is going to be basically like a 2008 toaster, at least on paper so far. So with that being said, MSI, what in the absolute hell are you doing? Why aren't the dates all solidified? Why can't I pick whatever retailer I want? What is going on? The marketing is shoddy, the performance looks shoddy, the price is incredibly shoddy, and you're really jacking up the fact that I want to do a super controversial video in some way, shape, or form. I still think the product is super important to the space and provides a captivating, the word is sliding right out of one ear, but it's important for the space. It's important for progress and for competition and things of that nature, but it's starting to look more and more like it's going to be the biggest flop of hardware I've seen in an incredibly long time. And we're going to dive as deep into it as we possibly can. I'm really considering just getting the i5 version because I know every single person out there who's going to try and do a video is probably going to pick the i7. And that's okay. I want to see how bad can get. And compare that to a $400 Z1 ROG Ally and the Steam Deck at, $550, and the Lenovo Legion Go and all these different devices, maybe 6800Us. It's going to be really interesting to play with. But man, why are you penalizing me for wanting to buy at Best Buy? Is it contractual? Is it MSI just trying to get as much money out of contracts with like Newegg and Intel because they know the sales are going to be so bad because of the performance and several different factors, price and so on? I'm not sure. All I can tell you is on paper, this thing looks like it's going to be hot garbage. The Reddit forums, they're non-existent. Nobody's in there. It's not like the Ally or the Legion or the Deck Reddit pages and other places where there's just an absurd amount of people conversating and talking and debating and fighting and saying terrible things about each other and about the devices. There's just crickets. And if that's a sign of anything, this is going to be one of the biggest hardware flops, not just of 2024 or the decade or the last 10 or 15 years, but maybe of the century, maybe longer than that. This could be an absolute disaster. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section down below. I'm still going to get one. Hopefully it's good enough I want to keep it, but I'm highly doubting it. The Ally wasn't good enough for me to want to keep it with various issues I had that I just couldn't iron out. But man, a disaster before it even starts. Good job, MSI. But honestly, what else can you expect? Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.